Hello. Yeah, all right. I was just having a little chuckle to myself, remembering one of my relatives, my Auntie Mary. I'll tell you a bit about her in a bit. Her name, she had a really grand name. Her name was Mary Stevens Park, Tolpuddle, Lucifer Baggett. And she was my Auntie Mary. And yes, she did have a canary, but I never saw it. I never saw Auntie Mary's canary. I never did. She lived at number 69, Trafalgar Road, TIVIDALE, Dudley. And for many years she worked in the chemists. Bunson's the chemists, we call them pharmacists now, don't we? And that's the chemist was at the bottom of Trafalgar Road, Warwick, where where the traffic lights never was. And they sold everything like good old chemists, not like these pharmacists today, all medical and whatever. This was medical and medicines and prescriptions, but in them days they sold groceries as well, and newspapers and all sorts of old-fashioned boiled sweets and even ptarmigan traps. And we kids loved going in there. It was full of them strange chemist smells and really, really bright colours and delicious old-fashioned sweets. And Auntie Mary told us many, many tales of her working there, because she'd been there for years and years and years, including these two snippets, which still come back and give me a chuckle every now and again. Now, Mr. Rostron was a grumpy old eccentric man. He lived next door to me Auntie Mary, and he used to go into the chemist quite often. He was so eccentric and so weird. We used to say in the Black Country, he didn't know if he was on this earth or Fuller's. He used to go in the chemist's nearly every day to buy some corn for Brenda, his pet invisible chicken. Well, they liked telling him that the chicken was invisible, because they liked selling him the corn. They were fools, were they? No, they had to do that. And so he went in this one day when Mary was working there, and he said, Mary, do you fit suppositories? And she looked and she said, suppositories? Oh, I do, Mr. Rostron, I do. I fit suppositories. Yes, I do. Right, he said, you fit suppositories. Right, go and wash your hands thoroughly, and then just weigh us a quarter of pear drops. And the other character that lived near to me Auntie Mary, we used to say she was round the bend. She was round the corner in Ash Terrace, TIVIDALE. I lived in a big posh house, and she was really, really posh, snooty lady. She really was. Her name was Mrs. Balustrade. Adeline Francois Balustrade. But everybody called her Mrs. Balustrade. And she had a husband, but nobody ever saw him. But we saw a lot of Mrs. Balustrade, and she'd go in the chemist's. She had this big posh house on Ash Terrace. It was the biggest. It was like a little cul-de-sac, was Ash Terrace, and she had the biggest house. And in the front garden, she had a pampas grass. And all the neighbours and all the kids used to call it a pampas grass, because she was that posh and toffee-nosed and snooty that it was a pampas grass. And she used to go in the chemist, and she come in this one day, and she had one of them basketware shopping things that you held over your arm, and in it was a little dog. She always took her little dog in this shopping basket. And she came in and she said to me Auntie Mary, she said, I say, Mary, do you sell hair removal cream by any chance? In which case I will take 2 tubes if you do sell such a thing as hair removal cream. Thank you, Mary. Mary said, oh, we do. And she put 2 tubes in a brown paper bag, and she gave it to Mrs. Balustrade, and she said, Mrs. Balustrade, when you've used the hair removal cream, don't wear your stockings for a couple of days. Take my advice. Don't wear your stockings for a couple of days. And Mrs. Balustrade went all haughty, and she said, oh, no, it's not for my legs. It's for my little chihuahua. And Auntie Mary said, in which case, don't ride your bike for a week. Right, ta-da a bit. I must go. keep out that Ross Road. It's very busy out there today for some reason. I don't know if it's because it's the end of half term and everybody's going out for picnics and things, but it's very busy. So stay out the Ross Road. Thank your mother for the palings, and I'll see you soon. I've got to go now. I've got to go and do my exercises. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then the other eyelid. Oh, I'm a martyr, really, but it does me good, though. So, ta-ra a bit, and I'll see you soon, won't I? Ta-ra.